Good morning from Arizona. I'm going to do a quick update on the main garden and how things are growing, documenting. I hope everybody's doing well. So the mulberry is no longer a small twig. It's getting up there. The cushaws are doing really well. This thing's gotten massive. Sage is doing well. Poplars are sustaining. And it got me irrigating. So I do this for about 10 minutes on the larger trees. And then for the smaller trees, about 5 minutes. Pumps out about 2 gallons a minute. That's another cushaw. Prickly pears are putting on pads and growing well. The zucchini is getting massive. You got a zucchini on here. Crookneck squash is doing well. I planted a potato just to see if it would come up, and it did. Now, on the other potatoes I planted, the goldens and the reds, they're on their way out. But I don't think they had a long enough time period to produce any good amount. So I'm going to try leaving them in the ground and seeing what happens. The other cushaws, another one over there, and another one there. All doing well. Cherry tomatoes are producing. We've actually had a couple of cherry tomatoes. Pomegranate's still blooming, and we've got our first pomegranate. Pretty happy with that. Pomegranate being my favorite fruit. The native gourd in there. This is the Hawaiian tomato. I don't know how well that's doing, but we'll see. Chard is doing good. For volunteer, I can't complain. Another native gourd and another one. Now these are edible. I call them gourds. Sorry, they're melons. They're supposed to be a cross between like a honeydew and a cantaloupe. And over here, this guy's bouncing back really well for being eaten to the ground last year. Pomegranate's still blooming on this one. Artichokes are on their way out. Then we got a mesquite tree we're going to put in right here as a nitrogen fixer in this corner. And with it came hollyhocks. So we're kind of waiting for the hollyhock to go. We've fenced off our sensitive trees. This is a young nectarine, so going to protect it a little bit. Also protect our young peach. The mimosa tree is blooming. One thing I did notice, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I'm learning, like I said. I stick this guy up in the beginning, and it hasn't really developed any strength. If I take this off, this will fall over. So this monsoon season, I'm going to cut it back down to about right here and unstake it and let it do its thing. Let me know what you think about that. The native melon. It's a Roma tomato. It's got tomatoes on. It's starting to get burned. It's starting to get hot. We're in the high 90s now. That's a cantaloupe. Another native. And you notice most of the daikons are on their way out as far as seeding goes. Now this cherry tomato is doing really, really well. It's got tomatoes all over it. I don't know if you can see them. That guy, that's a mulberry. Another Roma. These are the African horn melons. They're doing good. And this is doing good. That's also an African horn. Now in here is where we pulled our garlic. We got about 51 cloves. And this year about double the size as they were last year. So what I did was spread some goat manure all through here, covered it, and now we planted some bell peppers, some banana peppers, Anaheim peppers, and installed a shade cloth for it. The orange bell's doing well. Eggplants are doing good. Got eggplants on them down here. Now, this was our experiment about letting this native gourd, this is a coyote gourd, go and provide a ground cover. And we've got the eggplants inside there. We'll see how that works. This thing is getting massive. And the other prickly pear. Put on 15 pads this year. That's kind of crazy. The Apache gourd is doing good. And this is a weird one. It's leathery and it's soft and velvety, kind of, compared to like a honeydew or the watermelons. This is a honeydew, and it's doing well. Our little moringa's not doing so good. It's growing, but just not like what I expect. Now this is an experiment. This one I didn't water. I don't water as much. And this one I do. So you can see the difference. Now we've had a volunteer tomato come up in here. And had a volunteer tomato come in over here. And that's more Apache gourds. Now you're hearing my alarm go off. And we'll go to move to the next tree. And that one gets it for 7 minutes. Sorry, dull moment. Time to move this guy. So you can see we got a good flow going in here. Now, with these hoses that you're seeing, the cat's got, they come out here and they follow more and listen more than dogs do. Except for Ryder. He's constantly up your butt. But inspired by Loose Natural and Steve, we're going to try drip irrigation. We're going to try gravity feeding it from the tote you see here down here to feed the vegetables. Now, I don't think drip irrigation is going to work good on our trees. I don't think it's going to get deep enough, but it should work on the vegetables. So we're going to break it down into zones. I'm going to put in a zone coming from here down to the artichoke and give it a chance and see what happens. Then if that works well, I'll split it, run another zone down on this side. And then so on. I'll just keep zoning it and having control valves where I can turn it off. But we'll see how this works with gravity feed. If it doesn't, then I'll get a little solar 12-volt pump and push it. But I think it should work. But that's the main garden. The daikons are still, this one's getting ready. You know, for having to only put in the original batch 100, I think it was 100 seeds I got. I've got thousands now. And I didn't even plant none of these. These just came up on their own. So, pretty happy about that. Now, one more thing. We are going to start throwing seeds out for the monsoon season and trying to get the seeds in. I'm going to put temporary beans, cattle beans, Jacob's beans, spread those out. None of our okra came up except for one, and none of the Egyptian spinach came up. So I'm going to try that in when monsoon season comes. These cats are just playful as hell. Ryder's like, what the hell are you doing? I'll knock it off. Make me get in there. And he will. He'll break them up if they get all rowdy. But other than that, folks, I hope you have a good day. Have a great weekend. Be kind to one another. And just keep on keeping on. Later.